afternoon, learners. Hi, my name is Lisa Figaji. You can just say Miss Lisa if there's any questions. And I am coming to you this afternoon to do a short presentation on the CATS program. CATS stands for Commercial Advancement Training Scheme. And I would like to take 15 minutes of your time and tell you a little bit about this very exciting opportunity for you as learners who are going to be graduating this year or next year. Before I start with my presentation, I'd just like to introduce you to one of our CATS trainees, Namibia. Namibia is a trainee. He has finished year 1, or is busy finishing year 1, and will start year 2 in July. Namibia is here with me because we are very, very happy to have been sponsored, our participation at this career fair, by Pukkewitz Holding Group. And I'll tell you a little bit more about his involvement also with the Pukkewitz Holding Group. If you've been into the hall, you would have seen that we are also housed or hosted at the Pukkewitz store. Okay, so that is myself, Lisa Figaji from the CATS program. I'm officially called the CATS program coordinator, and my colleague and trainee, Namibia. Great. Now, before we get into the program, I'd like to ask one question to you. This is supposed to be a workshop, but it's not really a workshop, but I do want to see a show of hands. Can I ask you are now in grade 12, is that correct?
Yes.
Right. I'd like to know from you what number of you, so with a show of hands, would like to. Now listen to the 3 options. You can't put up your hand twice. You can only put up your hand once. Okay? So listen to the 3 options, and I'd just like to get a feel as to what you would like to do with your future when you finish grade 12. Okay, here are the options. Option 1. How many of you would like to be employed by the government? Okay, listen to the options first. Hang on. So first, who would like to be employed by the government? Second option. Who of you would like to be employed by the private sector? And third option. Who of you would like to go into self-employment, become an entrepreneur, and start your own business? Okay, is that clear what the 3 options are? Yes. Government, going work for a private sector, or being self-employed, working for yourself. Okay, let's see. Now, maybe you can just have a look at who's the majority. Who would like to work for government? Hands up, high, high, high. Who of you can see yourself working for government? Thank you very much. You can put your hands down. Who would like to work for the private sector? Let's see. Show of hands. Only one, so you can't put up your hand twice. Okay, so your colleague can see next to you. And last but certainly not least, who of you would like to be self-employed? Great. Okay, that is, I would say, if I'm not mistaken, the most of you would like to work for the government. Is that also your feeling, Namibia? Right. I'm going to be talking and approaching and enticing the interest of those of you who would like to move into the private sector, into the commercial stream. Okay? But hopefully I can convince some of you who are thinking of going into work for the government that CATS might be an option for you as well. Okay, great. Now, CATS is Commercial Advancement Training Scheme. What we have as our vision, where do we come from? We responded to a need, a specific skills need in the market. Okay? And that skills need came from industry, from the private sector. We were trying to meet those needs of industry, and I could really say to you that it was quite specific in terms of the industry that we were trying to respond to. How many of you know about transport and logistics industry? If I mention the word transport and logistics, what company comes to mind if I talk about transport and logistics? What do I hear? What do you think of? What type of companies do we think of? Pukkewitz, transport and logistics, Namib, I hear. Indongo, Is that the cars, the Toyota?
Yeah.
Okay, anything else? That's Okahanya, you're absolutely right. Transport and logistics. Who is involved in transport and logistics? It would be people like DHL. They transport goods. Yeah, have you heard of DHL?
Yes.
They freight packages, large and small, all over the country. It's companies like Trans World Cargo, okay, who are typical logistics companies. They make sure if we are importing goods from Europe, from South America, from Asia, from China, they are the logistics guys who make sure that our goods that we are ordered in China arrive in Walfish Bay and to the shops who have ordered those goods. That's transport and logistics. Okay, but CATS, as I said, was answering to the need of that specific industry originally. But the program has broadened itself out. And I would just like to, Nembili, at this point in time, to tell you what other exciting industries, companies, are involved in the CATS program. Nembili, can you just read out some of those companies, please?
Okay, for the companies that are involved in CATS, there is Simont.
Simont?
Yeah, there is Poepkowitz Megabuild, or you can say Poepkowitz Holdings, with all the group of companies. And then we've got NEC, Namibian Engineering Company. We've got Agra, Etosha Transport. There is DHL, there is Manica Group of Namibia, there is Bidvest, there is
Bidvest?
yeah, there is African Marketing, there is CMA, and then there is West Bank Transport. We also have the Klein Windhoek Slaghuis. And we've got, what else do we have? We've got Mais Klein, we've got Aqua Services Namibia. We've got a lot of company and many, many more. You can look it up on our website.
Great, thank you, Nambili. Ladies and gentlemen, young learners, we've got 27 companies who are presently members of the CATS program. And those are just some of the companies that we mentioned. Now, our response was to contribute to Namibia becoming a competitive global player. What does that mean? We are competing against Botswana. You see they are also represented here. We are competing against South Africa for markets. And CATS was this answer specifically to the transport and logistics industry to provide skilled young people for this industry. What is CATS? Getting down to the nitty-gritties. CATS is a 2-year commercial training program. It's not a job. Traineeship, apprenticeship. Have you heard these words? What does it mean to be an apprentice? An apprentice is you learn on the job. Is that understood? You learn by doing. You go to the company, you actually start from day one in one of the departments of the company. Okay? It's not a job entirely. It is a program. It is a program where you're going to learn on the job and study at the same time. Okay? We'll get to those details, but you are working and you are studying at the same time. The lovely thing about CATS is it is recognized internationally. The certificate that you get, okay, combining this theoretical and practical training is based on what we call the German dual system. And that dual means two. Okay, dual means two. It's this combination of practical and theoretical training. Okay, we're together. Excellent. It's highly recommended locally, and you get a certificate at the end of the day that is recognized by the European Union. Okay, so it's not only locally recognized, it's recognized also in South Africa, but also a certificate from the German Chamber of Commerce and Industry in Berlin. It comes all the way from Europe, and it is a certificate recognized in Europe. So if you want to go and move to Europe after you've done your 2-year training program, you can quite easily find a job overseas with a certificate that you have at the end of the day. Okay, now quickly, let's have a look at what dual training system actually means. I mentioned to you practical learning and theoretical learning. practical learning or practical training in the company. Theoretical training is being given by the Polytechnic of Namibia. You all know Poly, right? How does it work? The practical learning, on-the-job training, Monday to Thursday, you will be in a company, working for a company. Okay? What will you do in the company? You will get to know a lot about all the departments in the company. You will rotate. You'll start with reception, for example. You'll move into HR department. You'll learn from the finance guys. Each department you will rotate to. Okay? You are guided by a mentor or a supervisor, and some companies, depending on the size of the companies, have got both. You have a mentor and you have a supervisor at your disposal. So they tell you what to do, they tell you how you want to do it, how the company would like you to do it, so you're not left alone. And last but not least, you have a responsibility too. Even though you're just working in inverted commas, you have to write weekly reports about what you've learned, any challenges, what you found easy, what did you enjoy, what did you find difficult doing, etc. You are continually assessed by the company, of course, because you're working with them all the time, and also you have to do an oral examination, which is nice. No writing.
Yes.
No writing. No? You don't have to sit there for 3 hours. The companies just want to hear from you. What have you learned? What do you understand? What is the business all about that we're involved in? Okay? So that's, I think, is a plus. Theoretical learning, Fridays and half of Saturdays. You go out of the company, you go to Polytechnic here in Windhoek, and you officially attend the classes. But only 1.5 days per week. Those subjects that you're going to learn about as part of the training program include business economics, bookkeeping, maths, commercial law, commercial subjects. Okay? And one of the requirements at the end of the 2-year program, you will be requested to produce a report. Okay? A study report for the 2-year program. That is the theoretical part. You obviously write quarterly tests, and of course, with Polytechnic being a recognized institution, you are going to be forced to write some form of exam, and the certificate that you get from the Polytechnic at the end of the day, can somebody read that for me? What is the certificate called? Applied process management. Applied means practical, doing, application. Applied business process management. Okay, that is in essence how CATS is structured, if I can put it that way. And at the end of the day, you would have the certificate from the European Union, South African or the German Chamber of Commerce and Industry, called Industrial Management Assistant. That is your job title after having done the training. Good. Very quickly, I've already mentioned quite a bit of this, but I just want to go through with you. You would start in July. We're having a new intake in July. Up until November would be the first semester. Year 1 is divided into 2 semesters, and year 2 is also divided into 2 semesters. First semester, second semester, third semester, and fourth semester. These are the subjects that you will learn at the Polytechnic. And please, you must understand that bookkeeping 1 has to be completed before you can go and do practical accounting. You have to pass the year 1 subjects to move on to the year 2 subjects. Okay, good. I'm not going to say more about that. Who do we target? Primarily school leavers with an interest in a commercial career. Grade 12 is our minimum requirements are here, based here. 25 points with 5 subjects on the IGCSE level. Okay. We're also looking at a minimum of an English and a maths at a D level, as well as any business subjects like business management, business studies, accounting, etc. Economics, thank you. Right. No other studies are allowed to be taken simultaneously with the CATS program. So what does that mean? You can't do a distance learning program with Polytechnique or with the university or with the International University of Management and do the CATS program at the same time. That is not allowed. Okay, any questions? Now, what's in it for you? What do you, as a young Namibian, get out of this program? What are the benefits? Okay, and I think this is where all your ears should go up because this is really interesting. What do you get? You have a 2-year training employment contract, which is per the labor law. You get on-the-job training in various departments of a company. You learn the whole spectrum. Normally, if you become an accountant, you only go to the finance department. You only know what's happening in the finance department. Here, you get to learn about HR. Here, you get to learn about delivery. You learn about management. You learn about reception. You learn about marketing. Different parts of a company. Theoretical education at Polytechnique. You get paid while you study. Isn't that nice?
Yes.
You get a monthly allowance. The minimum that you will get during the 2-year program is 2,500. This is what we have arranged with our membership companies. It doesn't sound like much, but do you know what the companies are paying your entire tuition? All of your studies at the Polytechnique are covered by the company for whom you're working. Okay? And that is not a small amount of money. It's quite substantial, your study fees at the Polytechnique. So you don't have to worry about where you're going to get the money to study. And on top of that, you would get paid an allowance. Okay. Your duties as a CATS trainee, just very, very quickly, we are looking for young, enthusiastic, energetic, diligent, hard-working young men and women who are honest, punctual, and willing to write your weekly reports. Willing to write. You can't get away with writing something. These are the certificates. I'm not going to go over that too much. As I said, you get 2 certificates, one accredited by the Polytechnique, and the second one accredited by the German Chamber of Commerce and Industry, which is recognized internationally. Okay. Quickly now, promising opportunities. I just want to mention to you now that most of our trainees that have gone through the program have found employment at the companies where they are working. You are guaranteed, young people, a job at the end of the training program. And most of you will stay with the company that you've done your traineeship with. No looking for jobs, no running around on the street, not knowing what I'm going to be doing tomorrow. You start employment immediately. And of course, at that point, your negotiation floor for a salary will look entirely different. And you go to the company and you negotiate with your degree or your certificate what you're going to be earning from then onwards. If you want to join CATS, study hard for your finals. You heard 25 points minimum. English, maths important. After passing, please approach my office, the CATS office. I'm heading the program to around December when you've got your results. It can also be January. Come and see me. Give me your application.